So here we have another 2023 Nissan Ariya, and this one is in the Premiere trim level. Comes in this beautiful Northern Lights exterior paint. It's going to be that emerald green, and then our interior consists of the charcoal, suede and leather seats, and the powertrain is going to be a 238 horsepower, 178 kilowatt front-mounted electric motor, mated with an 87 kilowatt hour liquid-cooled battery. Then we have a 7.2 kilowatt onboard charger. But there are the LED signature lights along with the LED headlamps and LED fog lights. And the lights don't flash, that's just my camera picking them up. But love the futuristic look of the Ariya. It really does go with the name. And where the grill would be, I love how they put the really neat looking design there. Just looks like a car you'd see in iRobot. And then down here we have the bronze finished 19-inch aluminum wheels, which look fantastic. I love how they went with the aero design, but didn't necessarily make them hubcaps. We get passive keyless entry on all four doors. And then here we have the controls for our one-touch up and down windows, power folding mirrors, and there are the blind spot monitors there. And then we can control our power mirrors with these four arrows here, depending on which side we want. And then we can lock our windows, power door lock controls there, and then memory seat function there. You can fit a pretty good sized cup in this cup holder. And there we have our power driver's seat with power lumbar support. So I have the seat in front of me adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3", and I'm sitting back here and my knees are actually not touching the back of the seat. Now I reviewed, I think it was the Empower, and I'm not sure if my legroom was this good, but I'm quite impressed here. Now I like that we have seat pockets behind both seats. The vents are back here, 3-stage heated outboard seats, and then we have a USB-C and a USB-A fast charge port there. And then middle seat folds down for cup holders. And then I do like we have the grab handles on all four doors. Then we can also hang a couple of shirts there without it getting in the way. And then one of my favorite things is going to be the 2-stage soft touch lights that we have here. Just makes it feel so premium. And that's really what makes the Ariya so great, in my opinion, is it's one of the most futuristic feeling EVs that I've been in. It may not be the fastest or have the fastest charge times, all that stuff, but it just looks really nice. And a piece came out there, but that'll be fixed. Plenty of storage, of course. I think this is that piece right here. Yep. But LED tail lights look fantastic. Like I said, just one of the sharpest EVs, if not the sharpest looking EV out there right now. And then we can fold this seat down, and that'll fold flat, and then we can run longer objects through there. And then it just shuts back into place. I don't want to have the seat belt stuck in there. Now before we take a look at the passenger side, I just want to go through this window sticker. Y'all can pause it wherever, show you all the standard features. Now the only upcharges we have are the mats and then the premium paint. And that gets you for $56,610. But here's our power front passenger seat. And like I said before in my last Ariya review, just really futuristic look, and just the interior for the most part. Almost forgot to show this. Here we have our charge ports here. Just pull that. Then you can snap them back in. And then what's really cool about having a front-mounted motor is you have kind of an engine bay here. Of course, it's not an engine, but now I will say I wish we had hydraulics for the front. There's probably a reason they're not in there, so I have to like hold it up. And that's interesting. 70% made in Japan, 30% made in China. Well, let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So a really nice leather wrap steering wheel here. And I love the futuristic look. I said this about the last one. It's kind of got like a self-driving feel to it with just the 2-spoke steering wheel. Now over here to the radio, we do get a navigation system. Then we also get AM, FM, XM radio, along with Bluetooth audio. Then we have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. There's just a look at each screen there. There's the navigation system. Now we have dual zone automatic climate controls, and we can adjust the temperature either with a touch screen, or then for the important stuff, we have touch sensitivity there, fan speed, so on and so forth, defroster. Then we can cut the fans off. And then what I like about this is with the screen, cut it back on, I can actually decide where the air is going pretty easily, and then I can toggle the fan speed here. And then those heated seats, I can either put on the auto mode, or I can adjust what level I want them on and cut them off. And the screen is actually pretty easy to use. I thought it would be kind of a pain because everything's here, but so far, after using it twice, it's really, really good at responding to touch. And there's a heated steering wheel. I can cut that on to auto mode or turn it off. And then we can set it to driver only for the AC. And then we can have that second mode on as well for the front passenger. Then for the rear, we can control the seat heaters. Now there's our backup camera there. I love the guidelines that kind of go with you as you turn the steering wheel. And it goes with that bird's eye view as well, which is really nice. And then you have automatic parking as well. And that's nice to have. And we have our brightness here. We can toggle that there. And then we can toggle that camera as well. And what's cool is with the camera mode, I can go from this view to the curbside view, and then I just have that backup camera that gives you a nice wide angle. And hazards are here. And then they really did a good job. You have the volume knob here, then you have your track list. You can go through that, or radio station, depending on what you're on. Now, one of my favorite features is going to be this hidden pocket here. So before I get to everything, I want to show you that. So that can open and close, which is really neat. And then just the subtle nuances, like I love the lighting that's coming from right there. It looks really, really neat. I mean, just this whole center stack here just looks completely futuristic. But to the shifter here, you hold this button, pull down for drive, hold for neutral, and then hit the button, pull all the way up for reverse, press P for park. And then of course in drive mode, you can tap down again to get you in that B mode, which is just maxing out your regen. And then you have your drive mode you can go through, Eco, Standard, and Sport. And then you have your automatic park you can toggle from here as well. And then the E-step, which is going to be that one pedal drive. Cup holders in here. And then a nice wireless charging pad there. And you can move this back and forth. These arrows. And then you actually have, which I'm looking at upside down, but you have a 12 volt USB-C and USB-A input there. And I like how they have this in the floor because it's out of the way, and then you can put your phone in here if you need to use the cord for whatever reason. There's your electronic parking brake. Pull up to engage, press down while your foot's on the brake to disengage. And we also have a rear camera mirror here. And then we have a panoramic roof. And I think this is a 2-touch slide, so you can slide that there and then hit it one more time, it'll go all the way back. Then you can 1-touch close it. I pushed it instead of pulled it. Then you have the garage door transmitter here. And that power shade to close it all the way is going to be a 2-touch. And then the glove compartment here is way back in there, which I like, but very small, but it looks really sleek with it being this slim, I guess. And I love how they did the AC vents. Everything in here just looks really, really sleek. I'm very impressed. Now to go through the radio stations or track list presets, or the presets or track list, you can go through using these arrows here. And then here we can toggle our shortcut menu. And then we can use this button to go through the gauge cluster. Well, these two arrows, excuse me. I just love the graphics here. It looks really good picture. And volume controls here. And then scroll bar here. And also use to go through each individual menu. And then to the right side of the steering wheel, we have our gap adjust, voice recognition, and then this is going to be our Bluetooth button. And then we can toggle our safety shield here. And then this is supposed to be a lane change alert, or a lane change button, I believe. But I can't get it to work, so I'm going to try it again on this test drive. Auto high beams here, blinkers, headlamps, fog lights. And then to the right side, we have our rear wiper, auto, low, high, and then rear wiper fluid, front wiper fluid. And then we do have a heads-up display. And there's that there. There's our push button start. And finally, here's our key fob. But next we're going to go ahead and take this Nissan Ariya out on the road for a quick test drive. So like the other Nissans and Infinitis, the Eco Pedal really does just dial you back substantially where you would expect your foot to be normally to get just regular acceleration. But with this being an EV, it still has plenty of pep even in that mode. And with the E-pedal off, this really does coast like a normal car would. Maybe a little bit better. I feel like the cruise control is on. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to use this lane change. Because I've yet to figure this out, but I'm going to. I'm gonna put the E-step on. Actually, I'm gonna leave it off and see if that makes a difference. And we're gonna put it into standard mode. So it livens it up quite a bit. I don't know if that did it or what. So it's kind of weird because it just, I don't know. Tell me to keep my hands on the wheels. Okay, there it is. So that's how you do it. You just have to hold it down. You can't, you have to, it's weird to explain. So like I just put the blinker down, but I don't hit it all the way. It's kind of like if I were just doing a regular, like 3 signal tap, that's what you would do, but you just hold it. So don't hold it all the way down, just hold it midway and keep it. So, and there it is there. And then I guess you can cut it off maybe, or maybe it's just always on. I have no idea. And one thing I will say is this system, like all of Nissan's system, it's always just going off on you for no reason. But I guess it is a reason, but I'm paying attention. And it's like, hey, put your hands on the steering wheel. I'm like, they are. And then it's yelling at me again. I guess it's telling me not to do it again or whatever. But back to the vehicle itself, now that I have that figured out, I absolutely love the ride of this for an EV. It probably has a lot to do with the front mounted electric motor, making it front wheel drive, but ride quality is just really good, especially compared to my Mustang Mach-E. Loads better. Now, of course, this also is not a sports car either. So it lacks in necessarily driving fun, but the vast majority of people who want this, or who are in the market for an Ariya-like vehicle particularly, are not going to want a sporty car anyway, especially if it sacrifices the ride quality. Now, one other thing I do want to learn about this is how to, maybe there's a way to change the intensity of the lane changes like in the Tesla, because this is just, it's very slow to change lanes, which is fine, but just find it interesting. So there might be a setting that you can change the lanes in so that it gets over faster or slower, whatever. But the setting it's on now is actually really good, because you don't want to be using that to merge lanes in rush hour traffic. You probably just want to have your full attention on what's going on. But if there's one thing that I can say about the Ariya, is it really is a practical EV. I mean, it drives practically, even in sport mode here. Everything, like, this is practical. All of that's practical. And honestly, for the price, it's pretty practical. It's not as fast as the other EVs, but a lot of people are never going to use that power anyway. And of course, you can always get an all-wheel drive version, but the front-wheel drive one is actually really perfect for me. If I was buying this for my significant other, I would just say, hey, front-wheel drive one's gonna have to do. You save money that way, it's more efficient. Yeah, I just really appreciate this car for what it is, because there really isn't a vehicle out there. I mean, you can say what you will about the Model Ys and the Mustang Mach-E's and everything else out, but the Ariya is really the first one that's made for normal driving. It doesn't feel like it's a toy. I mean, it just feels like an Infinity. But overall, I am extremely impressed. And this will bring me to the end of my review of the new 2023 Nissan Ariya Premiere.